Here we go, very first day of doing the Lion Diet together. So I'm really excited for today, and it's more excited for me than it is for you, because I know that every time I've ever gone pure carnivore and eaten nothing but meat, I have always felt at my best. As soon as I introduced those other things, honey, pineapple, coconut water, watermelon, I really enjoyed the flavors of them because they're really sweet. But I never felt as good as I did when I was pure carnivore. So after a little while, and this won't be today for you, but it probably will be for me, because your body needs to adapt and mine is mostly used to it. But after a little while, you're gonna feel so good on this that I'm really excited for you. I'm really looking forward to that. So what we're gonna do today, every time I eat or drink anything, I'm gonna take a print screen on my phone so you can see the time. And then I'm gonna either take a video or I'm gonna take a picture of it so that you can see every single thing. I won't miss anything out. If I have a bottle of water, I won't video me drinking the whole thing, obviously, because I'll just be sipping it slowly through the day. But every time I open another bottle of water, I'll do the same thing. And this isn't to say that I've figured out the exact best way of doing this in terms of portions, like the amount of water or the amount of meat. I'm just going to show you what works for me so that you can see how much I'm eating, and maybe that will help you understand how much you need to eat as well. Because I had an issue early on where I thought I was massively under eating, and so I was trying to force myself to eat more and more and more, and then I kept feeling sick all the time, and that didn't really go too well for me. So I'll just show you what I'm doing, and then you can adjust based on you. Now, the first meal I'm going to have today isn't the one I would choose now, but it's the one I'm going to use because this is what I started off with and my body reacted quite well with early on. So I'm going to do that, and we'll get into all of that later. Now, one of the things I wanted to say is this is going to be very difficult. Of course, it's going to be very difficult. I remember it being difficult for me. I don't remember the ins and outs of it. I don't think the tiredness hit me much on this day, but I'm pretty sure the cravings did, because my body was used to all these carbs and all these sugars and all this caffeine. And because I cut all of it out on one day, my body struggled a bit with it, and yours probably will too. But remember that anything that's actually worth doing is going to be hard, because if this was an easy thing for you to solve, you would have solved it a long, long time ago, wouldn't you? So this is going to be tricky, but I will share this. If I could go back to that first day and experience that first 2 weeks again, and I had to go through it with 10 times the intensity, if I had to feel 10 times more cravings for sugar and carbs, if I had to feel 10 times more tired from the lack of caffeine and sugar, I would still go through it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even consider it. I would still go through it for sure. And trust me, it's not because it was easy for me. I did find it hard, like you will. But the reason why I would do that is because of the ridiculously impressive effects that this diet has had on me. It has completely transformed my life. Pretty much my entire 20s, if I'm honest with you, I didn't enjoy it. Most of it wasn't worth living. There were moments, of course, but most of it was horrible. It was just suffering. This past year, I have enjoyed. I like being here now. My life is fun, and that's what I want for you. So let's stick with a diet for 2 weeks. Obviously, if you have any real medical problems other than, just craving sugar or whatever, that's not a medical problem. But if you have anything, then obviously, you might have to come off it, but let's stick with it, because here's my logic. This is how I went into this. If you stick with this for a couple of weeks and you notice that nothing has changed, you still have the problem, whether it's hemiplegic migraines like me or whatever else it is that you're trying to diet for, if you've still got the problems, at least then you know that diet isn't the reason. There's something else going on. But if you do this for, let's say, 3 days, and then you have some bread, and then you do it for a day, and then you go back to eating something else, you can't honestly say that you've tried it and the diet didn't work for you. I don't know if others will say it takes longer than 2 weeks. For me, it took 2 weeks before I knew for sure. I'm like, this is definitely working now, because that was the interval that I was getting the hemiplegic migraines at. And that was when I started to notice that I wasn't getting all the tingling and the numbness and stuff like that in my hands and my face anymore. So I knew straight away then. To be fair, it might take longer for you, but I'm just using this as a guide. So anyway, let's do it. Let's stick at it. I'm going to show you every single thing that I eat and drink throughout the day. I will not skip anything at all. And yeah, good luck. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. So 10:09 a.m. This is when I had my first drink of the day, which is just regular still water. Bit of an odd day because I would have normally have eaten around now, but it was 11:35 before I had my first meal. I just get days like that sometimes where I just don't feel that hungry. And so I don't eat. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat. And today was one of those days where I didn't feel hungry till quite late in the day. And then I didn't really want to eat too much because I knew I was going out later. And I don't like to eat a load of food and go out because I know that my body feels a lot better when it's not full of food. So this first meal here that you saw, that is a packet of 20% fat minced beef from Tesco. It's half of the pack and cooked in the air fryer. Now I've got a video on the channel where I show you exactly how I make this. It's worth checking that out because it saves you on a lot of cleanup and stuff like that. Then at 1:54, I had some electrolytes, which we spoke about in the video yesterday. I didn't bother to add any magnesium to this. No real reason, I just didn't want to. I suppose one of the reasons is that it doesn't mix very well, whereas this mixes very, very easily, which you'll see in a moment, where you just put it into the bottle and just shake it, and then it's mixed in. Whereas with the magnesium, you're shaking it for absolutely ever, and you still have clumps of it that don't really mix in very well. So then 3:18 p.m, I had some lamb's liver and a bit of ribeye steak. Now, I'm not sure how keen on liver Michaela is, because I remember there being something on the Lion Diet website that said, do you need organ meat? And I believe she said no. But I've always done really well off it. And it's lamb's liver, which means it's a ruminant animal. I've never had any problem with it. And it helped me with a lot of things. I've got another video where I talk all about that as well. So I would advise putting it in. I eat quite a lot of liver. I like to have a bit of liver most days. Only a little bit like you see there. You don't want to overdo it. But just having a little bit like that seems to make me feel quite good. And then we've got the ribeye steak here. Now, to me, ribeye is the best cut of steak. There's a decent amount of fat on it, but it doesn't make you feel sick, because sometimes I find with certain cuts of steak with the fat around the edge, it just makes me feel a bit sick eating it. I never get that with ribeye. I always enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow as well. As I say, I've not really eaten much today, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow having some ribeye steak and a bit of liver. So what I do here, after 15 minutes at 220 on the top shelf, the liver is done, but I don't like the underside of the ribeye being pow like that. So I put it back in for another 5 minutes. You could eat it like that. This is all personal preference, but I don't enjoy steak when it's rare anymore. I used to years ago when I would eat steak rarely, but now that I eat it so often, I like it when it's a bit burnt. I like the crispiness. Same with the liver here. I mean, that looks burnt on the outside. The texture, I think you might just about be able to see there. It was pretty good in the middle. It's just the outside. So there's the ribeye. That's how I like it when it's like that, when it's brown like that. And then again, I just put some salt on it. Now you do have to be careful with salt, because as I've mentioned in other videos, you can overdo that quite easily. But this amount that I'm using here seems to be a fairly sweet spot. And then similar to like what I was talking about with the pork loin, one of the things I do, mainly for efficiency, is I like to cut this up into small pieces while I'm eating. I don't really want to take my time with it. I want to eat this and then get on with the next thing. So I like to be cutting up the meat into small pieces so I have to chew less all the time. Okay, 6:02 p.m. I made myself some electrolytes because I was going out and I wanted to feel at my best, and I always do whenever I take electrolytes. So I drank those on the way. And then at 8:27, I just had some hot water. This was from a calf. And then I had another one at 9:24 as well. So that's everything that I ate and drank on my first day of the Lion Diet. Tomorrow, I imagine I will eat more. It's okay if you ate more than that. Trust me, that is not a normal day for me. I just didn't feel like eating much today. I think probably because I ate so much pork loin yesterday, I didn't really need food today. So I didn't eat much. But tomorrow will be different because I'm very hungry right now. So I hope your first day went well, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.